Anyone who watches the Bluey series might not even imagine that there are other stories happening inside each episode. Have you ever noticed that there are hidden stories in this universe? Karate. Did you know that Bluey does karate? We bet you never noticed that detail. Yes, our main character is really good at fighting. Not that she's ever going to need to use that talent, but just a heads up, messing with Bluey is not a good idea. We saw this in the episode Bin Night, when the healers are taking the trash out. She starts this journey as a white belt, but she keeps progressing until she reaches the yellow belt. In other words, the whole episode takes place over a period of 6 months, which is the time needed to train and level up. This is one of the coolest details in Bluey, and there are many more hidden stories in this show to share with you. Are you ready? Because another amazing Cinewave is starting now. Fights. Have you ever noticed that Aunt Trixie and Uncle Stripe argue quite a bit? In the episode Facey Talk and at Frisky's wedding, we see that the two of them argue much more than you would expect. And at first, that might seem normal, but since they are the only couple in the show who actually appear arguing, many fans think that at some point they might end up separating. Their marriage might not be in the best place, and that explains why Muffin is such a stressed out little pup, but hopefully they'll be okay. Dragon. Have you ever realized that Mrs. Cattle lost her life because of an illness, cancer? In the episode called Dragon from season 3, we find out that Chilli's mom, known as Mrs. Cattle, is sadly no longer alive and that she passed away when Mrs. Healer was much younger. What many fans don't know is that the word dragon, besides being a magical creature, can also be a way of referring to a terrible disease, the same illness that took Chilli's mother's life. And we know that this was the reason for Mrs. Cattle's death because the background story of this episode talks about Chilli's relationship with her mom. If you watch that story again, you'll notice that the flying horse Chilli is riding represents her mother, and this is one of the most emotional details in Bluey. Missy. Have you ever noticed that Missy, Bingo's school friend, is actually an adopted pup? This character appears next to her mom in the episode Pass the Parcel from season 3, when Lucky's dad changed the rules of the kids' birthday party game. Missy is an Australian Terrier, but her mom is a German Spitz, which is a very different dog breed. And yes, you might say that Missy's dad must be the same breed as her, and even if that's true, there's still one detail. When a puppy is a mix of breeds, like Bluey's daughter in the future, she clearly shows that she's a mix. In other words, Missy should at least look somewhat like her mom, but she doesn't. So that means Missy is adopted since her dad has never appeared in the series and the little pup doesn't look like her mom. See? That's a hidden story you probably hadn't noticed. Couple. In the world of Bluey, there are some duos that we just know will become couples someday. Bluey and Mackenzie, Rusty and Indy, Snickers and Honey. Don't know what we're talking about? When you watch the episode Handstand, during Bingo's birthday, we see that the two little pups are spending a lot of time together. They're playing with water guns, and from what we can tell, they get along really well. That's why many fans have already realized that these two will probably end up together in the future, just like they figured out that Indy and Rusty will start dating one day. Who's your favorite Bluey couple? And for you who made it this far, we have a special invitation. Click the join button down below and become part of our exclusive group of subscribers. We have 3 plans for you to choose from. You can become a Wave Fund member and use our badges on your profile and special emojis in the channel's video comments. Or you can become a Wave Plus member and get early access to our videos and priority replies in the comments. But if you want access to our exclusive members-only videos and polls, you can become a Wave Max member. Starting at $2.99, you can become the newest member of Cinewave. Click now and get even closer to us. Honey. Still talking about Honey, have you noticed that she's actually the busiest pup among her friends? First, let's start by saying that Honey isn't Australian. She moved to Australia from England, and maybe that detail is important. In the mini episode Alongside, we see that Honey has a lot going on in her day. She wakes up, makes breakfast, feeds her hamster, goes to soccer practice, then to volleyball practice, and she even learns how to play the piano. All of that in the same day. It almost feels like Honey has more than 24 hours in a day, or maybe she just really knows how to manage her time. After all, the British are known for never being late to anything. Had you ever noticed that Honey does so much? Romance. Another background story is about Winton's dad, Cornelius Bulldog, who is definitely the most romantic dog in the Bluey universe. Right now, he's dating the terrier's mom. We find out how their relationship started during the episode TV Shop, when Bluey and Bingo are at a pharmacy. But Winton's dad also appears with a girlfriend in the episode Quiet Game, when he's on the other side of the street walking with his sweetheart, the same character who breaks up with him. In the episode Dance Mode, we see her talking to another another dog, showing that she's no longer dating Cornelius. Winton's dad's love life is truly full of surprises, but you only notice it if you pay attention to what's happening in the background. Love. Captain and Mia are also two characters we can see have a pretty intense romantic connection. And let's be clear, everyone understands that they're young and not old enough to get married yet, but it's obvious that someday they will. In the episode Barky Boats, we see how the two of them make up excuses just to be together, and Calypso even explains to Bluey and Mackenzie that their feelings, which had been hidden, have grown, and that now they can't hold back anymore. And in the episode Curry Quest, the two are seen talking behind the stalls at the neighborhood fair. This love story is going to go much deeper next season. Mom. One thing you might notice at Frisky's wedding is that Snickers' mom was invited, but she didn't even bring her son or her husband. The dad of the family has already appeared in a Bluey book, but never in an episode, and Snickers himself isn't at this wedding, or in the rest of the episode, and a lot of people think he might be sick. Why would Bluey's friend's mom go to the wedding alone? That was pretty strange. Siblings. The pink poodle Koko is another character who has a very hidden backstory, but we learn a little about it in the episode Baby Race, when her mom shows a family photo and reveals that the little pup has 8 siblings. This character has trouble sharing. She likes to control the games, as we see in the episode Wild Girls because of all the siblings she has. Not that having a big family is necessarily a problem, but when you're the youngest, getting what you want before your older siblings is impossible. You can notice that in the relationship between Bluey and Bingo. It's the main character who runs the games, not the other way around. That's the truth about the pink poodle. Being the youngest of 9 siblings explains why she tries to force others to do things they don't want to do. Subscribing to the channel is just as good as watching your favorite animations. Shall we click? Look out. Do you know another background story that almost nobody noticed? In the episode about Frisky's wedding, Chilli takes the girls to a lookout point in the city. Bluey asks her mom how she knew Frisky would be there, and Mrs. Healer answers that the two of them used to go to that spot to think when they were young. That was a lie, and we know why. Teenagers go to lookout points when they want to meet up with their boyfriends or girlfriends. It's something teens do. Of course, Chilli wouldn't give that answer to Bluey, but that's the hidden story in the background. When Chilli and Frisky were teenagers, they didn't go to the lookout just to think. They went there to meet their first boyfriends. Plan. Still talking about Frisky, did you know that Chilli planned to set up her best friend with her husband's brother? Didn't know what we were talking about? Let us explain. Bandit's older brother works on an oil rig, which means he doesn't have much time to visit the family. Chilli herself said she forgot that she had invited 2 babysitters that night. In the episode Double Babysitter, Chilli and Bandit come up with a plan to go out while the two of them stay home taking care of the kids. Mrs. Healer already knew that Frisky had broken up with Bosco, and Bandit's brother would be the perfect husband for her friend. Widow. Another detail that many people didn't notice is that Bluey's neighbor, Mrs. Dorene, is a widow. She lost her husband, and sadly, her former partner suffered from pain, or he couldn't walk anymore. In the episode Granny Mobile, we find out that the mobility scooter Muffin helps sell belonged to the Healer family's neighbor's husband. That character's name was Len, and he unfortunately passed away. If he needed that scooter, it's because he couldn't walk normally, and if the Healer's neighbor sold it to that elderly pug, it's because sadly, her husband had passed away. That's a background story that few people noticed. Soldier. Still talking about grandparents, Chilli's dad used to be a soldier and probably fought in a war. We just don't know which one because that was never revealed. But in the Healer living room, you can see a large photo of him as a soldier, as well as a medal called the Victory Cross displayed in the background. In other words, he earned a medal for an important battle. Did you know that about Bluey's grandfather's past? Sister. In the episode Early Baby, we find out that Indy's sister was born prematurely. From what Indy said, this character, who hasn't appeared yet, had to stay in the hospital for days to be monitored by doctors, but it was her dad who had to stay with the youngest daughter. We know this for 2 reasons. First, because Indy's mom had just given birth, and second, because in the episode Mums and Dads, Indy seemed surprised when Rusty said that parents go out to work. That's because in Indy's house, it's the dad who takes care of the home while the mom goes out to work. In other words, in Indy's family, it's the dad who takes care of the babies. Did you notice that detail? Stink. Still talking about Indy's dad, did you know that he is one of the reasons Bandit let out a super stinky fart right in Bluey's face? In the episode Family Meeting, when the main character accuses her dad of doing that super gross thing, we find out that the night before, they had dinner at Indy's house. As we already explained, it's the dad in that family who takes care of the kids, and that night, Indy's dad had prepared a vegan nut roast, which definitely helped make Mr. Healer explode, if you know what we mean. Another thing you know is that the fun never ends here. If you like this video, there are 2 more ready on the screen. Just click and keep watching with us. Thanks and see you soon.